Hi everyone, today we're going to be sewing in cursive, also known as learning the stem stitch in the embroidery world. I heard this quote on The Curious Creations of Christine McConnell on Netflix, and it made me laugh out loud, and I knew I wanted it for my sewing table, and I just put it in a frame I had broken the glass out of a while back, and so the stem stitch is perfect for cursive, it's perfect for outlining, it's perfect for anything that's very curvy. It looks like a little braided rope once you're finished with it. So you'll need to get yourself set up. I'm using a magnetic needle minder right now. I make these and sell them in my shop. I'll put the link for my shop in the info box below in case you're interested. But for the stem stitch itself, you'll need to knot your thread and come up through the back, and then just hop over a little bit and sew down, and you'll want to hold the slack so that you can sew between the two stitches, the two first stitches. And sometimes, depending on the curvature of the word or the border that you're working on, sometimes experimenting with which side the center stitch comes out of, you can figure out how, which one looks better. And so just continue coming up through the middle between your two primary stitches, and this is going to give you a really continuous, beautiful flow in your thread. You may also notice that as I'm stitching and as the curve that I'm working on is getting bigger, my stitches are getting bigger. If you're working on a really small curve, you want to keep those stitches super close together, because if you don't, it gets boxy and it loses that cursive beautiful flow. So it may take a little bit longer, but the finished result will look much better than trying to do big long stitches. Just keep them real narrow and close together when you're doing those super tight curls, because that's going to make them really stand out and give you a lot of pretty detail. Now I'm showing you some real-time sewing here because I want to show you that I've been doing sewing and embroidery since I was 6 years old, and I still mess up, and I still have to pull some of my threads back, and I still have to, it takes practice, and that's what I like about sewing by hand, is it's so easy to fix your mistakes. If you start making a mess, or you start, not liking where your project's going, you can always go back and fix it. So it's supposed to be relaxing and anxiety free, and it's definitely supposed to be an enjoyable activity. and then of course you get something beautiful at the end. And this is another tip: if you come to a really tight point like the top of this A here, pass your needle through a second time on that point, and then come up on the other side. This will keep it from getting curvy if you do want a sharp point with this stitch. I don't use them very often, but sometimes you do when you have something like an A or a T. So just keep that in mind. And as I said, the quotes from The Curious Creations of Christine McConnell, she also has a YouTube channel that she really started to get going a couple months ago, and she does all kinds of DIY stuff on there. I'm a huge fan, so if you want to, you can go ahead and check her out too. And if you need a pattern to work on, I will post the links to my pattern archive, and that way you can have a project to work on and maybe find something cute that you can practice this stem stitch with. Pretty much all my embroidery patterns use stem stitch because it's very, very versatile. So. And once you're finished, knot your thread and use it however you'd like. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to see more like it, go ahead and click subscribe. Otherwise, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye!